Hey everyone, and welcome to the weekly roundup for Eve Echoes for the week ending the 17th of June 2023. Let's get into the video, shall we? So, first and foremost, we have new content added to the game. The Inscription of the Galaxy Strife, which has started. Blah 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 blah. It's another in-game event. Judging by the looks of it, it's another one of the competition ones. I believe it will be the Super Carrier one. In fact, actually, I am in the game at the moment, so I might as well have a quick look. And yes, it is the Super Carrier building event. So for those of you that are in big corps, help out, do some mining, contribute to PI, see what you can do. Because your corporation might just be able to get some limited nanocores for their carriers or super carriers. Is it carriers or super carriers? I believe it's for the super carriers. But anyway, moving on, we also have balance adjustments. Increase the type of laboratory series missions that can be accepted in each zone from 2 to 3. So, yeah, what's happened here is the laboratory missions, and for those of you that are unaware, they are the purple missions that spawn in both high-sec and null-sec. The high-sec ones have a bounty value of 4 mil and 5 mil. I say bounty, I mean mission rewards, you know what I mean. And I believe it goes even higher in null-sec, although I've never done them in null-sec because in null-sec there are other anomalies to do anyway, you know, the naturally spawning ones. The point here is the Science C now spawns in them. It doesn't always spawn in them. The rate at which it spawns seems to vary across each of the different levels of the purple laboratory missions. So now you have a reason to run these missions. If you want specific debris related to the Science C, run those purple missions wherever you are, whether you're in high-sec or null-sec. Run them. You're not guaranteed to encounter the Science C, but it's going to be there. Now, I don't know if a battleship can take it on just yet. I personally haven't encountered it. But let's move along, shall we? That's probably worthy of a video all on its own. So next up, we have the usual optimizations. I'll let you read through these because there's not a massive amount to speak about here. There is one interesting thing, and this is number 3. Optimized the damage immunity mechanism of warping, where warping targets in null-sec zone will no longer be immune to damage. Now, there is a theory that this is related to a quick fix that NetEase implemented earlier in the year. The fix was regarding interceptors getting one-shotted on gates by the Daredevils or Dramiels. I can never remember which one. Please someone comment in the comment below as to which one it was. Well, they were essentially one-shotting interceptors as they were coming out of warp. And to the untrained eye, it looks like they're undoing that change or tweaking it ever so slightly. So be just a little bit more careful if you're putting multiple billions worth in your cargo scepters. I've not seen any kill mails of this happening just yet, but there is always that concern, especially considering I just put up a cargo scepter video. That could have been really badly timed. So we'll move on to the bug fixes. So, fixed an issue where players were unable to lock onto enemies while controlling a capsuleer outpost. Yeah, that would make the useless guns, or missile launchers I should say, on the capsuleer outposts even more useful, wouldn't they? Personally, I've never had any particular good luck with the weapons on these things. I think not before the war, when the null-sec war started, of course, we saw our outposts constantly getting hit. And defending them as an individual, it was easier to undock in a ship and fight than it was to have to actually use the outpost's weapons because they were just so easy to cheese, to just completely avoid and design around. But anyway, let's not go too far off topic here. This is a weekly roundup video, not a Hales history video. Fixed an issue where the Dauntless, I do not know what that is, and carriers were unable to dock at a capsuleer outpost. Again, I don't know what the Dauntless is. Am I missing something? Have I missed a ship release? Oh, is that? I'm guessing here, is that one of the new faction cruisers? Because I've not memorised any of the names. Again, comment below just to keep me on track. Fixed an issue where the smart nanocore, otherwise known as the AI nanocore to the rest of us, was unable to warp away from cosmic anomaly, normally under certain circumstances. So they're fixing a bug on the golden AI nanocore to make it less problematic. Yeah, no complaints from me. That's probably where, let's say, a quarter of my income comes from at the moment, because when I'm recording videos, it's just easier to have it automatically running. It means, I've got time to do these videos. So, next up, we have the game maintenance announcement. There is 50,000 skill points waiting for you in-game if you haven't logged in yet. So feel free to log in, claim those skill points, and log back out again if that's all you're interested in doing today. This is because maintenance was extended. Again, we don't know the exact reason why it was extended, but we got 50,000 skill points out of it. As someone who's typically at work during maintenance, it's a freebie. So yeah, claim it as soon as you can. Now, we'll move on to the Plex report for this week. Unfortunately, Plex prices haven't really dropped all that much. I've noticed them around 4.8 and 4.9 million over the past week or so, but at the time of recording this video, we are at 5.07 million per Plex. So, yeah, what's happened here is, of course, the Science-y event is over, so there's no more extraordinary levels of demand for Plex. However, there is currently a, the big supercarrier building competition. There is a way to get extra resources out of these, like, carrier loot containers by spending Plex. So, of course, Plex demand is a lot higher than usual. It's not broken in its, level of demand, thank God. So, yeah, it's there. You've just got to grind a bit harder than you used to get your free Omega. But hey-ho, there's nothing much we can do about that, except for recruit new players into the game to spend money. Wink, wink, wink. So, that's the end of the roundup, and now we'll be moving on to the developer Q&A for the end of the video. Now, as per usual, I have got these Q&A questions and answers off of Captain Bendy's video by screenshotting them. I was offered them by a fellow content creator. However, I kind of like, just ripping them off of Benzy's videos at the moment. It just is a bit more of a story behind it. But anyway, shout out to Taylor Rick for offering them to me anyway. So moving on to question number 1. Currently, players with access to the corporation wallet withdrawing ISK is only subject to a 1-hour audit, but there are no means to block the withdrawal to prevent a potential theft of funds. Are there any plans to put in safety features like approvals for X amount of ISK that can be set by the CEO? Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? Since the entire game launched, things like that have been here. The delay when withdrawing money. The delay is there, so I don't really know why the delay is there. It certainly isn't there for the corporation's benefit. Anyway, the corporation permission settings are already complicated enough, and adding individual withdrawal limits for players can complicate things even further. Currently, corporations can use contract to distribute ISK rewards or compensation to members. So Cloud, unfortunately, has kind of misunderstood the question. He's interpreted it as setting individual withdrawal limits for different members, when actually we want the CEO to be able to block mass withdrawals when there is an audit timer ongoing. That is what the questioner is asking for. Unfortunately, Cloud has misunderstood it. But if they did implement that, if somebody at NetEase did interpret the question correctly and decided to implement it, wouldn't be a bad thing. It would give CEOs a 1 hour's notice to cancel withdrawals of their rogue directors, as it were. So yeah, that would be interesting, but of course it looks like they're not going to be doing that. Question number 2. Clown? Wow, where did clown come from? That's cloud and clone combined. This is how my mind works, guys. Clone-bound Plex for new players or Omega for a couple of days. Implement certain in-game task. This is sounding a lot like a suggestion off the suggestions channel in the Discord channel. In fact, have they just started pulling suggestions now? Or are people literally copy-pasting suggestions into the Q&A? I don't know. Let's carry on. So implement certain in-game task, mining, PvP, PvE missions, etc. By fulfilling these task criteria, newbies can obtain above-mentioned gifts. This will be very helpful for them and motivate them to play, grow and enjoy this game. 07, thanks devs for this lovely game and hope this game will get better and better. Why do they put suggestions in the Q&A? Thank you for your suggestion. We agree that the reward and levelling system for new players needs improvement, but we think just offering Plex is not enough and can also be unfair. The new player reward system needs an overall optimization and we will do so step by step. Stay tuned. Yeah, I'm not sure where this player's coming from with regards to player-bound Plex. You might as well just say, okay, new players, if you currently have less than this many skill points at the start of this event, then everybody under this limit gets 7 days free basic Omega. I mean, that's how I'd structure it. Instead of giving out free Plex that's untradeable, which has extra programming, complications to go into it, just give every player that's under a certain skill point level, a 3 weeks worth of basic Omega. If you want to go down that route. But anyway, that's that question. We'll move on to question number 3 before I ramble too far about giving out freebies. So, question number 3. Hi, will the voyage recur? I really struggle with words sometimes, and this isn't even a hard sentence. Hi, will the voyage core come back for the Fazago carriers and the others? Answer. Yeah, there will be a new core coming for the next Interstellar Bazaar. Give it a try! ! Emphasis on the exclamation mark because they really want you to spend money there. This is the second Q&A in a row that they have referenced the Interstellar Bazaar. So it's coming, guys. They wouldn't keep on mentioning it and bringing it up in consecutive Q&As if it wasn't close by. Or would they? I mean, they've hinted at other things that have not yet materialised after, 2.5 years? Anyway, let's not go down that rabbit hole right now. Question number 4. Could we have an option to restrict kill mail posting in the corporation logs? The same as fleet chat auto post. I would like to limit as much information to my potential enemies. Ooh-woo. I like how they included the ooh-woo at the end. So could we have an option to respell in corporation? What? In corporations logs and leaking it to potential enemies. I'm not sure this person understands. The kill logs in game in your corporation's kill board are only visible to people within your corporation. If you think that your enemies are getting information from your kill board, your corporation's kill boards that only people inside your corporation can view, then the kill board is not your problem. It is your recruitment. Anyway, answer. We understand your concern, but disabling kill mail posting could lead to players hiding kill mails. In the past, this has caused inconvenience for all players. Therefore, we have added an auto post function. Yeah, I don't see the point in hiding them, to be honest. This is an MMO that has people constantly interacting with people. It's not a single player game, so I don't really understand the mentality of wanting to hide these things. Yes, you can have really, really embarrassing lost mails, but that's part and parcel of the game. You shrug, have a laugh with your friends about it, make sure that you've got a good grin on your face whenever it's brought up in conversation, and move on. That's just how it goes. Anyway, question number 5, and I'm just going to go back one page. Yeah. It is curious that Cloud is the only person answering questions this week. I don't know what goes on over there, but it is just curious to note that there is only one person answering the questions this week. So, fifth and final question before you all leave. Hello there, devs. Regarding the introduction of supercarriers, will there be a new set of planetary materials? Initially, we're moving on to the answer. Initially, the advanced components for supercarriers need to be manufactured through complicated process with planetary materials. However, due to the complexity of the process, we do not have plans to introduce it at this time. You can obtain advanced components through Components Shipping Container currently. We appreciate your support for Eve Echoes and hope you enjoy the game. So what they're saying here is instead of introducing these materials as planetary materials, they've introduced them as loot in the Components Shipping Container. Yeah, I mean, that's a different way of providing the materials in-game. I've certainly got no objections about it, because if you introduce it as PI, then the devs need to redo every single planet in-game. As in, you know, go over every single planet in-game and insert even more PI. And I don't know about you, but I just don't see the devs doing that, because think of the problems that could ensue if they just wrote a script that said randomly add all of this PI to each and every planet in the game, and then just imagine what would happen if they made even the smallest of mistakes. You know, that would mess over entire economies within the game. So no complaints from me there, and that's the fifth and final question. So thanks again for listening. I really hope that this time I did not sound like a maths teacher. Shout out to the guy that pointed that out in the comments. Any feedback is good feedback as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're not going to just put in the comments, game is dead, bro. That's, you know, that's like the only thing. But anyway, enough rambling. Thanks again for listening. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. It really does help. If I ever do make it to 500, that means I'll be able to start doing those Duo Omega giveaways. You know, because by the time I hit 500, I'll have joined the CC program, presumably, in quotes. And, you know, have all those little bonuses to hand out to you guys. So, yeah, feel free to subscribe. That's the incentive. And I'll see you guys in the next video.